got our inserts, we got our effect sends, we got our channel. So if you want to actually look at all of these different settings at one time, you can click on the edit window. Okay, now that we've looked at the inspector panel, let's look at this edit window, which is a variation on that, and it has a couple other settings on here that we'll look at that are really neat. So this right now will be the overview of the edit window, and there's at least two different ways to open it on whatever channel you're on. You can click over here in the upper panel, or you can click down here, and this edit window will open up. You'll notice when I right click you notice whenever I open up a window inside of Cubase, the first thing I do is I right click and I select always on top. The reason for that is if I click over here, it won't disappear. If I don't have that checked, I have to keep going over here. It keeps disappearing on me. So you'll notice every time I open something up, I click always on top. Now let's look at the different parameters on the edit window, and let's see how different it is from the inspector panel. We have our inserts over here, which are pretty much the same. Not much different about those. We have our effect sends over here. These look pretty much the same. There's not really much different with those. The EQs are different. The EQs gives you different settings that makes it more flexible for you to adjust. In our inspector panel on the EQ curve, we really only had this graphic window or graphic EQ window showing, which didn't give us a chance to set things like, this is called the bell curve. Over here, we can actually adjust the width of the bell curve. So rather than adding like all the highs, this would be adding mids and highs to a track. You can add specific things. You can add a tighter width. We'll see in EQing that this is a really handy little thing. We can use this to take out S's on a vocal. We can use it to take out a ground buzz. We can use it for all kinds of stuff. This is actually called a notch when it's really tight, and it's called a bell curve when it's really wide. To get this kind of flexibility on the stock channel EQ in Cubase, you have to open the edit window. So this gives me some flexibility on my EQs. That's a notch and a bell curve, and you'll see two other ones, and you'll see a few other ones here. You look on our lower window. This is actually called shelving, because what it's doing is it's creating like a shelve, and it's adding low end from this frequency and below. Rather than a bell curve, which creates a bell, this is called low shelving right here. So this will add bass from this frequency below. Like I said, we're going to see this and we're going to do a whole lot of tutorials on EQing. I just want to show you the different shapes. You can actually remove low end from this point and below. Likewise, you can have high shelving. Whoops, sorry about that. Likewise, you can have high shelving, so it'll add highs. Let me shut this off, from this frequency and above, and you can also take out. So we have the bell curve, the notch, and we have shelving.